the US, Mr. Ebrahim Rasool, is finally coming to South Africa after he was declared a persona non grata by the Secretary of State in the US, Mr. Marco Rubio, and he was given a 72-hour notice to vacate or to leave that country, or else faces consequences. And we heard that he's finally coming back home, and our reporter Zelda Molokome filed this report for us.
Good afternoon, I am Zelda Molokome with Current Affairs. South Africa's ambassador to the United States, US Ebrahim Rasool, will depart the US later today, meeting a deadline set by the Secretary of State for his exit from the country after being declared a persona non grata. Ambassador Rasool says he left the US with no regrets and will arrive in Cape Town on Sunday around 11 a.m. local time. There is also an understanding that private security officers were posted as his official residence in Washington since his public rebuke by the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio after comments linking the administration of President Donald Trump to white supremacy. It is not clear if a specific threat was received or if the action was done out of an abundance of caution. And this is what the presidential spokesperson Vincent Magwenya had to say.
Relations with the United States. And the president is on record saying he will lead the intensification of engagements between ourselves and the various levels of the Trump administration to iron out whatever issues that there are. There seems to be a number of issues that are concerned from Washington, and the president is keen to have those issues addressed. Equally, the president is keen that we look at the opportunity to research the relationship between South Africa and the United States, particularly on the trade front, where there are a lot of opportunities to expand the trade relationship. The DTIC is leading a process to look at that basket of tradable goods and look at how we expand it.
The formal process to replace South Africa's ambassador to the US, Ebrahim Rasool, has yet to commence, as President Cyril Ramaphosa intends to carefully apply his mind given the strained diplomatic relation with Washington. This is according to Presidency spokesperson Vincent Magwenya, who briefed members of the media on Thursday, the 20th of March 2025, regarding the president's program and recent political developments. Ramaphosa is eager to reset the US-South African relationship, especially in terms of trade, where there are many opportunities to strengthen trade ties, according to the spokesperson. Rasool is due to return from the US this week after being expelled by the Trump administration, with several homecoming celebrations set to take place. His expulsion came after he made comments during a webinar hosted by the Mabungube Institute for Strategic Reflection, where he accused Trump of pushing policies aimed at addressing the changing demographics of the US, which he argued were part of a wider supremacist agenda. Earlier this week, Ramaphosa was asked if he thought Rasool had yet in public criticizing Trump. He said Rasool will return to South Africa and give him a full report. Although the prerogative to appoint ambassadors rests to the president, the Democratic Alliance DA has called for a review of foreign policy at the cabinet level in light of the growing tensions between Pretoria and Washington. The second largest party in the Government of National Unity has suggested adopting a consensus-based approach for the appointment of ambassadors. And this is what the DA spokesperson of International Relations, Emma Powell, had to say.
Tensions between the United States of America and South Africa is deeply unfortunate. We call on the presidency to expedite the Government of National Unity's formal delegation to Washington, D.C. to negotiate a pathway towards the stabilization of diplomatic relations with one of South Africa's largest and most important trade and investment partners.
Meanwhile, several South African political parties have responded to the U.S. decision, expressing a range of opinions. Some have criticized the move as an overreach of the U.S. influence in South African affairs, while others have called for diplomatic dialogue to resolve the tension. For Lokuhle FM, I am Zelda Molokome, Johannesburg.
And thank you to our reporter Zelda Molokome. And after the break, we are talking to the leader of Al Jamaa, Mr. Hanif Hendricks, just to take us through on what happened on this fateful day in Langa, or what happened in Langa in 1960, not on this fateful day, but on what happened in Langa again in 1961. People were also massacred in that area.
We come to your church for you to use the radio to reach and win more souls for only 500 rands. Optional. Live streaming on Facebook and YouTube with over 135,000 followers, reaching over 2 million people monthly. Contact Notando T on 071 338 4574 or send an email to Not. And now pray.
Minister? Hello? Hello? Minister? Mr. Hendricks, are you able to hear me?
Hello?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, no, thank you. Please hold while I'm finish my ad break, and then we get straight to the conversation.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.